Hey, welcome Broken World Entertainment. And it looks like Chris Hemsworth could be done as Thor. As he says, his return to the MCU depends on Thor being portrayed drastically different from Taika Waititi's bastardization. This one is interesting because he really throws shade at Taika Waititi. And he basically says, in the nicest way possible, that Love and Thunder was shit. So, in further confirmation that the actor, like most everyone, is fed up with the director's blatant disrespect for the character, Chris Hemsworth has declared that his return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Thor is content on being able to play a drastically different version of the character compared to his portrayal under the irony-led direction of Waititi. Hemsworth spoke to his potential future as the Major, that's the hammer, isn't it? Wielding Norse god during a November 23rd appearance on entertainment reporter Josh Horowitz' Happy Sad Confessed or Confused podcast. What a hell of a name for a podcast. Wait till you hear some of the stuff he says though about, and you just really kind of go, ooh. So asked by Horowitz, where do you go for at this point, Hemsworth asserted that while he was unsure if he would ever or even get another chance to pick up the hammer, now that his Marvel Studios contract has closed out with Thor Love and Thunder, that means all the cards are in his hands, i.e., yeah, give me a shit ton of money and I'll come back and let me have some say. Should he ever get the chance to reprise the role, he would love to see his thus far career-defining character written in a way more akin to the tortured hero he was in the last two Avengers movies, rather than as the bronze over brains comic relief he was in the last two solo outings. And here he says, I think you look at Thor and Thor the Dark World, and they were quite similar. The actor opened to his host. Ragnarok, Love and Thunder, similar. I think it's about reinventing him. I think I've had such a unique opportunity with Infinity War and Endgame to do very drastic things with the character. I enjoy that. You know, he added, doing his best to sidestep calling out Waititi's indifference to good storytelling by name. I like keeping people on their toes, he continued. It keeps me invested. I said this before, but when it becomes too familiar, I think there's a risk in getting lazy because you go, I know what I'm doing. Ultimately, Hemsworth admitted, so I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I'm invited back, but if I was, I think it would have to be a drastically different version in tone, in everything, just for my own sanity. He's about to throw the shade here at Waititi, where he really does kind of call it all out. So he says, I'm just at the point of my life where I'm meeting with different directors and people say, oh yeah, look, he's a mad genius. He's mad, but he's a genius and he'll make great films. And I'm like, is that who I want to spend my days with? Said the actor, taking a dig at Waititi. 4 months, 5 months of shooting, and then you've got press and possibly reshoots and so on. When he called out Waititi saying, oh, I'm done working with mad geniuses, he's only ever referred to one director as a mad genius. one, and that's Waititi. And now he's saying, I'm done working with mad geniuses. To this end, he informed the outlet that now, if something's going to pull me away from my family and my kids, it's going to be a positive, constructive, collaborative experience. I shot with George Miller on the new prequel to Fury Road, Furiosa. Who the fuck wants to see this as well? Part of the Mad Max saga. Yeah. Mad Max Fury Road sucked, by the way. I know there's a few people who like it. It was shit. Mad Max with barely any Mad Max in it. And he says next to nothing. No. Seriously, who wants to see a Furiosa film? We saw it. It was called Mad Max Fury Road. But anyway, he recalled. And I said to my agent, that's where I want to spend my work hours. With someone who is kind and collaborative and interesting. So he's really throwing shade at Waititi. Where he does say Love and Thunder, was, he was like, it was different. Basically, he was saying, it sucked. I know it sucked. Everyone knows it sucked. Waititi was just a disaster. So, if he wants to come back, number one, they obviously have to give him a new contract. Number two, he can demand pretty much a shit ton of money. And then they'll be interested to see if they just go, recast with someone who won't have the ability to demand as much. And three, he wants it to be drastically different. Nowhere near what Taika Waititi did to the character. And clearly, he doesn't want to work with Taika Waititi again either. Let's not forget, this is the director who did his little video for, was it Variety, where he insulted the visual effects team. He said, Anyway, looks like Hemsworth may not return, but if he does, we're probably going to get a very, very different take on Thor. And with that, I'll leave it there for this one. Cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.